So Caitlin Clark has the opportunity tomorrow, or what am I talking about tomorrow? She has the opportunity tonight to go and get her revenge. To go and get her revenge on the Las Vegas Aces. And look, the Fever have beaten every team in the W. The only teams that have done that are the top three teams. The Sun, the Liberty, and the Lynx. And the Fever have a chance to do that tonight. And if you guys are new to the channel and think the Fever could win this game, subscribe. We are trying to hit 34 point, we're trying to hit, we're trying to hit 35,000 by the end of the day, but if we can hit like 34.8k, which is really not far away, by tip off, that would be insane. And also, lads, if you guys are interested in the merch, we have got the merch in the description below. Seems to be pretty decent quality. And then we've got the hoodie that looks kind of like the other hoodie with a 22, with a silhouette that may or may not be 22. But anyway, the game tonight is big because Caitlin Clark, if you want to look at WNBA all-time assists in a season leader, right now the record is Alyssa Thomas. 316 for a season. Do you know what happened just there? Do you know what Caitlin Clark is on right now? 312. Caitlin Clark is 4 assists away from the record. And yes, I know the Courtney Vandersloot was in less games. I'm not counting the bubble. The bubble does not count as a season because they've played too few games. But like, I think 9.2 assists per game is the record for a season. So she's not going to break the assists per game record that Courtney Vandersloot had. But at the same time, like, nobody's been talking about that record. People have been talking about the Alyssa Thomas record, which Caitlin Clark is going to beat. As of right now, Alyssa Thomas is 30 assists behind. She is 30 assists behind. And as far as the games are concerned, you have got the Connecticut Sun have got 4 left, and the Indiana Fever have got 3. So she's got to catch up. 30 assists. So let's just say Caitlin will have just 5 assists a game for the rest of the year. Which she won't, because she's playing Dallas in one of those games who don't play defense. So let's just say 5 assists a game the rest of the year. And so she ends up with 327. Still probably less than she gets. She's going to break the record tonight. But 5 assists a game the rest of the year, she gets 327. You have then got Alyssa Thomas needing to get 45 assists in 4 games. So, you know what? That is doable, actually. That is doable. Am I right in that? Yeah. Yeah, I am. There's no way also that Caitlin Clark only averages 5 assists a game. And Alyssa Thomas averages like 11 or 12. That's just not going to happen. Like, that would be maybe if Alyssa Thomas starts trying to farm assists. And if I'm Alyssa Thomas, I would be a bit more worried about that, because if you start trying to farm assists, you're getting very, very close to averaging a triple single on the year. Like, as good as she's getting very close to averaging a triple single. Which, again, it doesn't, for me, it makes no odds if she averages 10.1 or 9.9 points per game. But obviously, my point of 10, 10, and 10 is something unbelievable. But 9.9, 9.9, 9.9 is triple single. So I'll be consistent. But yeah, that is what's going to be happening today. I think there's no way Caitlin Clark shoots as bad as she did the last game. I think this team is trying stuff out for the playoffs. It's why I think in general, like, with the way that this game would have went, I don't think Caitlin was that frustrated after the game. I've seen Caitlin way more frustrated, like, after games that were, like, worse games than that. I think in general, she was probably annoyed that she missed shots. But, like, after the game, I think she took a picture with all the Iowa people after the game to show up to watch and was smiling. Like, I think it was almost an accepted loss there. I think the Aces went out and played that game like it was the playoffs. They went out and hacked the crap out of her. And I think they're probably going to do that again. And I really hope the referees have to call it early. Like, the amount of times people are like, oh, Caitlin pushes off. And there's, like, pictures of, like, her jersey being grabbed by Kelsey Plum. Kelsey Plum, like, bear-hugging Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Plum with 2 hands pushing Caitlin Clark as she's trying to drive. As she's trying to drive by her, she just pushes her. But, that is the, that's the big thing with that is that the referees have to call this like it's a game of basketball. And everyone's like, oh, but the referees are going to call it like it's the playoffs. You got to referee the game. Like, I don't understand people seeing like playoff basketball is just allowing people to shove each other. Like, call the fouls. And like, I get it. I don't even mind hand checking as long as you don't push. The problem is that they're just shoving Caitlin and Caitlin pushes back, and you gotta let both. You've got to let both. As in, if you are going to let her get hand checked, then you cannot call an offensive foul on Caitlin Clark for the whole game. If you're going to let them hand check her, you've got to let the offensive player push off. Because if you do not let the offensive player push off on a hand check, then what is the point of guards playing the sport of basketball? And I genuinely mean that. If you are going to referee a game like this, there is actually no purpose of guards playing the sport, because if this is now the new rules of how we referee it, we just put we just put a bunch of Victoria Vivian's strong, kind of mobile guards, and their job is just going to be to manhandle every single guard so they can't do anything. Like, if this is how the WNBA wants the game to be played, good job, because you'll be back playing for 3,000 people in a couple of years' time, because guard play is what brings fans in. Like, as great as A'ja Wilson is. And look, there's a reason why I'm not making 100 million videos talking about A'ja Wilson. One, I'm actually not as high on A'ja Wilson as most people are. Do I think she's the best player in the world? Yes. Do I think this has been her best season? No. Like, I've kept tabs on the WNBA. She just shoots. She just shoots every time she touches it. Like, I think she can, and when A'ja Wilson is on form, she can win you a game. She can also shoot you out of a game. Like, I just don't. I think she's the best in the world, but I don't think there's a big gap. I think you can argue any of Stewie. And to be fair, I think if you are the Minnesota Lynx, you would rather have Fee. If you're the Liberty, you would rather have Stewie. If you're the Fever, you would rather have Caitlin Clark. If you're the Aces, you would rather have A'ja Wilson. I think she's the best player in the world for that team. But it's like, I think depending on the system you want to run, you can argue any of them for. And I think that there is a very, very good argument that in Stewie over A'ja. And I think there's a good argument for Caitlin Clark over A'ja. I think it's hard to argue really anyone else. I think she is the best in the world. Right now, if you're asking me, fate of the universe on the line at this moment in time, who would be my first pick? My question would be, who are the teammates? If you've got a bunch of running athletic guards with Leah Boston at center, give me Caitlin Clark. If you've got 2 or 3 other 20-point per game scorers who need the ball, give me Breanna Stewart. If you've got a team that I don't even know what fit they are and pieces that don't seem to fit and they just want one player to take them home, give me A'ja. That's just my opinion on her. But obviously, unbelievable season. An unbelievable season for her. She's going to break every single record. She's going to win an MVP. I think everyone's scared to vote for anyone else. She's going to win unanimous. It'll be a unanimous MVP. And yeah, I really do hope this is a good game tonight. Like, Caitlin's going to break the record, but I hope she doesn't need to shoot 50%, just even shoot 40. Shoot 35% and I'm happy. Like, if she makes 2 more shots, if she shoots 20 times and goes 8 for 20, I'm happy. Heck, if she goes 7 for 20 and goes 3 for 7 from 3, I'm happy.